Welcome to Chapter 1, Section 1.1, Fractions. This should be a fairly easy review for all of you, but we will still go through this section together, and we will also go through the 1.1 problem set. A couple important things to keep in mind: the smaller the numerator on the fraction, the smaller the value, and the smaller the denominator, the larger the value. So if we take a look at the problem set, it's located on page 9. Number 1, circle the fraction with the highest value. We have 1 over 2, 1 over 3, and 1 over 4. So the smaller the denominator, the larger the value. So of course 1/2 is going to be the correct answer. Alright, if we look at number 3, circle the fraction with the lowest value. 3 over 1, 4 over 1, or 2 over 1. And again, the smaller the numerator, the smaller the value. So 2 over 1 is going to have the lowest value. And these could also just be 3, 4, or 2. You don't have to have the 1 underneath it. Okay, let's look at number 6. Complete the following operations. 5 over 6 plus 7 over 10 plus 2 over 5. So the first thing we have to do is find a common denominator, something that goes into all of these. In this case, it's going to be 30. 30 goes into 6 5 times, so we're also going to take the numerator times 5, and that gives us 25. 30 goes into 10 3 times, so that's going to be 21. And this goes in 6 times, so that will be 12. And that gives us 58 over 30, which is also an improper fraction. If we want to convert that into a mixed number, we can see that 30 goes into 58 one time, and then we will take 58 minus 30. We've got 28 left over. So we have 1 and 28 thirtieths, but we can also reduce this down further and see that 2 goes into each of these, so 28 divided by 2 is 14, and 30 divided by 2 is 15, so our final answer is 1 and 14/15. Okay, let's look at number 8. Reduce the following fraction to its lowest form, and that is 25 over 100. And we need to see something that goes into both the numerator and the denominator. In this case, it's 25, so we're going to divide each by 25, and that gives us 1/4. If we look at the next one, number 9, 67 over 10, and that is an improper fraction. If we want to convert that into a mixed number to reduce it down, we see that 10 goes into 67 6 times. So 10 times 6 is 60, so we're going to take 67 minus 60, and we've got 7 left over, so we have 6 and 7/10, and we cannot reduce that down any further. Okay, let's look at the next page, page 10, and that is going to have some of the application questions. Okay, number 23, a patient has taken 1/4 tablet, 1/2 tablet, 1 1/2 tablet, and 3/4 tablet. So in total, how many tablets have they taken? So they've taken 1/4, 1/2, 1 1/2, and 3/4. So we want to add all these together to find out how much they took. But first we need to get a common denominator. And this is a mixed number. Let's convert that into an improper fraction. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So we have 3 over 2. And we'll rewrite these to line them up. And the common denominator we're going to have is going to be 4. So 3 times 2 is 6. And 2, rewrite these. And 1/4. Add them all together, and that's going to give us 12/4. And that's an improper fraction, but we know that 4 goes into 12 3 times for our whole number. So they've taken 3 tablets. Okay. Let's take a look at number 24. Which dose contains the largest amount of medication? A tablet containing 1/150th of a grain, or 2 tablets containing 1/100th of a grain. Okay, so knowing what we know about denominators, the smaller the denominator, the larger the value. So before even taking into account the 2, we can see that the 100 is smaller, so that is going to be the larger amount. We can also take this times one another, and that's going to give us 2 100ths, and you can reduce that down further into 1/50th, and you can compare the 2 that way, and you'll still see that this is larger. Okay, the final problem that we're going to work together on for section 1.1 is number 25. You're to measure 1/4 grain of medication, each into unit dose oral containers. Your bulk container holds 375 grains. How many containers will be prepared? Okay, so we'll just set up a little easy problem here to multiply them together. So 375 grains times the unit dose, times 1 unit dose. We're going to divide that by 1/4 grain. Okay. And if we take that, we end up taking 375, and you can write it like that if you want, by its reciprocal, which would be 4/1. So we take 375 times 4, and that gives us 1,500 containers. Okay, so work through the other problems that we did not go through together. And if you have any questions, feel free to post those to the Q&A or the virtual office thread.